All right. Anyhow, well, we'll just get right into this video, I guess. I'm out running some errands. I hope that it goes without saying. I'm hoping it goes without saying. I totally appreciate viewers and shit. Like, it's super funny. Come on, you go ahead. I mean, I know I'm ridiculous, bro. I mean, and so I just kind of spit out my thoughts and just, you know, whatever. I mean, like a lot of this stuff, like many issues, they're so complex, and people always like to oversimplify complex things. And like when I talk about, for example, EBT, that's just an example of people wanting to oversimplify by like, yeah, just cut off the food stamps because there's so much abuse. Like, oh shit. Well, I mean, what? That's a really oversimplification of a very complex thing. Like, we need to find out what are the fucking facts about food stamps and shit, you know? And when people don't even know the facts about food stamps, and they're fucking like, and they're intentionally oversimplifying when they have no idea what they're talking about. You know, I can't stand it when people who have no idea at all what they're talking about inject their opinions into the thing, you know. It drives me nuts. It wouldn't drive me nuts so much if everybody weren't doing it. Like, everybody has to weigh in on every fucking thing. And whenever subjects like homelessness and food stamps and shit like that become the subject and everybody's weighing into it, dude, I know that like the majority of those people have no idea what they're talking about at all. They're not basing anything that they're saying in facts or whatever. And it's like, if they're gonna talk all this shit, like, back it up with facts, or just shut the fuck up, dude. Just like totally shut up, because there's people that know a lot more about homelessness and EBT than you know, like. And so, but anyways, I forgot what I was going to talk about. So right now I'm just parked right here, and I'm just going to chill because I want to go into this store and stuff and see if there's anything I need in here. So I'm just going to chill it. I wanted to try to remember though, what was I going to talk about? But I mean, you know, and the food stamp thing, like you could go on and on. See, like, for example, oh yeah, that's exactly what I was going to talk about. So let's look at people abusing the system. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, for now, I'm just going to talk about my last job. My last job, I worked for a multimillionaire and probably a billionaire, because, you know, I would not be surprised if billionaires were trying to keep their finances private. And so even though people knew that they were rich and people knew they were millionaires, if they were billionaires, but they knew that people didn't really know, they would downplay their wealth and say, oh yeah, I'm a millionaire, you know, when really they're a billionaire, right? So my last job, I worked for a multi-millionaire who was probably a billionaire who was like downplaying his wealth. Okay. And he was a cool dude. And he was a Jew. Okay. But you want to talk about abusing the system, dude? Abusing the system. Okay. And this is, I'm going to tell you, this is exactly what people do. When an example is provided, like I'm about to provide, people will always act and talk as though that's just some isolated incident. It's not really like happening on a large scale. Whereas EBT abuse is totally happening on a large scale. Even though it's like, well, where's the facts? Do you have facts to support this? Okay. Because in my last video, I talked about how, dude, everybody abuses the system. Okay. And, you know, like, you might think, well, yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe it's not, you know, maybe other people are abusing the system as much as EBT recipients abuse the system, you know, maybe. So I'm going to give you an example. But like I said, If I give you this example, it's like it's programmed Pavlovian fucking dog brain programming for people to just immediately in their subconscious be like, well, that's just an isolated incident, that doesn't really mean anything. Okay, but whereas if I were to give an example of an EBT recipient abusing the EBT, they'll be like, oh yeah, all those EBT recipients do that. It's like, dude, like the psychological, it's a psyop. It is a total psyop, dude. Them shutting down EBT is a psyop. It's a litmus test to see where are people at. And all these people, they love to share. And what's the mob mentality consensus? Yeah, shut off that EBT. All those EBT recipients are a bunch of losers. It's a litmus test because they know that if they shut off the EBT, all these people, it's gonna go viral on the internet, and the majority consensus on the internet is gonna be, yeah, all those EBT people, they need to get their food stamps cut off, my tax dollars and shit, right? That it's a litmus test. That's all it is. That's the only reason that they're shutting food stamps off, is to monitor the response and the reaction. It doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong. It's just a litmus test to monitor, because they know, dude. Think about this. You think that the government, like the government or the shadow government and all this stuff, you think that they don't know that the majority are a bunch of mindless NPC sheeple? You think the government doesn't know this? See, if you have half a brain in your head, you know that the powers that be understand that the masses at large are just brain dead, and that all the masses at large care about is superficial materialism. That's all they care about. They're completely 100% driven solely by superficial materialism, and the government knows this. And so when the government shuts off EBT and food stamps, they know that the masses are controlled by superficial materialism, and they know what a superficial materialist person's response is going to be to EBT getting cut off. They're going to be like, yeah, that's right, right, yeah, oh, good, yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's exactly like, Okay, so let me give you an example. And I like my boss, my last job, okay? And one of the reasons I'm going to talk about this is because I know nobody knows what I'm talking about. Unless there's somebody watching my channel, secretly watching my channel, that knows me and knows my last job and knows my last boss and is like secretively monitoring me, they're going to know. In which that would be really weird. Like a person that would do that, that's psycho shit. But whatever, I don't care. Do whatever you want. I really don't give a shit. Right? So my last boss, multi-millionaire, arguably a billionaire. Okay, and I worked for him for like 6 years, and much of the time I worked directly with him. Like we would be together for hours working together. Like the owner of this fucking multi-million-dollar operation, multi-million-dollar/billion-dollar operation. Like he'd be there, we'd be working together, we'd be talking. Dude, we bullshitted. We'd sit in the fucking in the truck where we had to drive for 3 hours together, me and him in the same truck, and we'd bullshit and laugh about Trump and like, like he's like a cool dude, bro. Okay. But we're talking about the abusing the system, okay? So here's an example of someone abusing the system that's not an EBT recipient, okay? My boss would hire illegal immigrants. 80% of the people, of my coworkers, at least 80% were all illegal immigrants. That's it. And they were all liberal. Not one of those people that all my coworkers were liberals, and at least 80% of my coworkers were illegal immigrants. And when I worked with my coworkers, my coworker crew, it was average like 7 people or something. But it was at least 80% of my coworkers were illegal immigrants, okay? And the rest of them were like libtards, Okay. Now, when we would work, like we would work, for example, we would work a 5-week job where we were averaging over 16 hours a day. We worked 7 days a week, 16 hours a day for 5 weeks, and we never got any overtime, and we never got any time and a half. That's an abuse of the system. Him hiring illegals is an abuse of the system. This doesn't even mention that he's a Trumper. Like, he's a Trumper. He's all talking about how he supports the building the wall and all this shit. He's a Trumper. And he knows that there's all this illegal immigration, and he's against all these illegals coming to the country. Yet he hires 80% of he has no problem being a complete hypocrite. And he just hired, okay. Okay, now you got to understand, in this class of people that I'm talking about, like my last boss, and even if he has middle class friends and stuff, they all excuse this. Like they're not like going publicly saying, "Hey, this guy's abusing the system." No, they don't care. Like they don't care. Like, dude, no, I'm not even kidding you, bro. Like, and they could even be Trumpers that are against illegal immigration and know that my boss is hiring illegals, and they don't even care. Like, they actually support it. They're like, well, yeah, you're real smart to do that, especially with the economy the way, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, just hire illegal immigrants. That's the smartest way to run your business, even though they themselves are also Trumpers and are against illegal. Like, dude, you don't understand. You got to understand, like, the hypocrisy of the masses. People are never convicted they don't have people have no integrity. People are never truly convicted to their causes, no matter what they are. Like, my boss is total Trumper. His whole thing is he's like really big into the cause of, building a wall, and we need to get rid of all these illegal immigrants. Yet that's all he hires is illegal immigrants, and he has no shame in it at all. And he doesn't see anything wrong with it. And he's proud about it. He's like, yeah, oh yeah, no, man, that's the way you run a business today, bro. And everybody in his class, they're all agreed. They're like, oh yeah. Even though they all believe that, we need to build the wall and how wrong it is that all these illegals, they don't care anyway. Like, don't you see? So there's like massive abuse just in that alone. And nobody cares. They don't care. They're like, hell yeah. I apologize about my car. I gotta let my car do this fucking bullshit. Man, there's some beautiful women in this area. I don't know what's going on. I smoke cigarettes, so I can't really hook up with beautiful women unless they're trashy, And a lot of trashy, beautiful women, they're like, I don't know. They're usually not worth the drama. So I need to switch to vaping, but I don't even think that would help. I guess I'm just an incel. I must just be an incel. That's what I am. I'm a fucking dirty incel. So anyway, no. So yeah, no, he doesn't pay overtime. He doesn't pay time and a half. He totally overworks his employees, and he gives preferential treatment to Mexicans. Totally, dude. Like, illegals get preferential treatment because I'm white. I don't. He's a Jew, but he's a full-on Trumper. He's totally against illegal immigration, but he hires them, and it's not just people in his class that overlook this and look the other way, even though it's a total abuse of the system, right? It's not just his class. I'm talking like middle class people that aren't millionaires or billionaires. They would agree too. They're like, oh yeah, no, that's exactly how you got to run that business. You go, guy. Like, I agree 100%. Even though they themselves are Trumpers and they themselves are super pissed off about the illegal immigrations. See, this is the way, the majority of people are, and if you as a person can't just acknowledge reality for what it is, okay? And the reality that I'm talking about is that people are not convicted to their causes. People will wear a hat that's supposedly about some cause, and they're a total fucking hypocrite in everything they do. And that's like, dude, that is the majority, are just a bunch of hypocrites. They don't care. All they care about is themselves, So like, And my previous boss, is a perfect example of that. It's like all he cares about is himself. That's why he hires illegal immigrants. But he wears a Trump hat, and he'll wear Mark Dice's shirt that says no vacancy, and everything is a big talk and everything. But at the end of the day, all he cares about is himself. And so he's hiring illegals. And he loves them. Oh, he makes sure to take really good care of them, more so than a white American. That's just this alone that I'm illustrating is a total abuse of the system. But who cares about that? You see, all these people that are complaining about EBT recipients abusing the system, these same people, they don't give a shit that people like my last boss that I'm describing, they do not care at all that people like that are abusing the system. They don't care at all. At all. And these same people are the ones that are going online and they're insisting, yes, cut the food stamps. Those dirty recipients abusing the system. Like, dude. And when I'm using my last boss as an example, like, dude, everybody is like this. Middle class, working class. All these people, they all cheat, lie, steal to get ahead. And they always have their excuses. Well, Trump made me do it. The devil made me do it. Fauci made me do it. Bill Gates made me do it. The Jews made me do it. I'm a victim. That's why I cheat and lie and steal. But those EBT recipients, those people, man, they have no excuse. Like, we need to fuck those people up. But if I'm doing the same thing, I have a righteous reason for doing it because I'm a victim of Bill Gates and Fauci and Trump, and I'm a victim. I'm a victim of all of this stuff, Nobody is better at crying victim than the middle class. And the higher up you are in the class, the more effective you are at playing the victim. Like Joe Rogan can go on at his podcast and start talking about censorship. And everybody's going to be like, oh my God, Joe Rogan they're trying to censor him. But like, if somebody's censoring me, nobody cares at all. And they'll even laugh about it, like, ha ha ha, look at Angry Hobos getting censored, ha ha. And then that same person is like, I'm against censorship, everybody. Dude, like, the point is people are not convicted to their causes, and they don't care because all they care about is themselves. Whatever is going to serve me, that's all that really matters. And I can talk a big talk all day. I can go public and talk about some issue that I claim to be, be like all about it stuff. But really, at the end, dude, this is like across the board. Everybody is always cheating, chiseling, cutting corners, lying, fibbing, white lying, and always rationalizing it. Well, they're stealing. Israel is stealing my tax dollars, so therefore that's why I do this and this and this. And I have a family to feed, and they're stealing my tax dollars, so I'm going to chisel here and cut corners here and do all the and cheat the system. In the same way that your average EBT recipient, so-called, cheats the system, it's like across the board. Your average person is just a chiseling. That's the American way. Just like George Carlin said, the thing about the American dream is you have to be asleep to believe it. And so all these sleepers, they rationalize away why they cheat, chisel, cut corners, fib, white lie, full on lie, lie by omission. Like, people are doing this everywhere, and they're just rationalizing it away. Like, well, this is a free country. This is free, and you have to be asleep to believe this system. This system is an abusive system. So you're going to get upset that people are abusing an abusive system. So the system that abuses you, there are people that are abusing the system that abuses you. And So you're upset. Why? Are you upset that the abusive system is abusing you? Or are you upset that there are people that are abusing the abusive system that abuses you? Okay? And the dream that you have to be asleep to believe is that this system is not abusing you. You have to be asleep to believe that the system that you exist in is not abusing you. The system that you exist in is designed solely to abuse you, okay? And this is why the system that abuses you sets up the litmus test of shutting off EBT. Because the system that abuses you, they already know what they are. Dude, your average person is so predictable that the system that abuses you already knows what your reaction and response is going to be when they shut off EBT. They know it's a litmus test. They know that your average person is going to fail the litmus test. And all that's going to do is further validate the abusive system and corroborate and confirm the abusive system's conclusion that they can continue to abuse you and slowly increase the abuse. Every year they're increasing the abusiveness of the system. And then they're telling you, look at these EBT recipients, we're gonna get them, you guys. And then everybody's like, yay, the abusive system is finally taking care of those bad guys. And when you look at who are the bad guys that everybody's talking about, you mean like poor people? Like poor people are the bad guys. I thought Fauci and Bill Gates and evil Trump and the Zion are the evil ones. Now, oh wait, so both of them are then, huh? So all the elites are the evil bad guys and all the poor people are the evil bad guys. Okay, well then who is the good guy? If most of the elites are bad guys and most of the poor people are bad guys, okay, well who are the good guys? The good guys aren't the majority of the elite. The good guys aren't the majority of the poor. So the good guys therefore must be like the working class, the middle class, and stuff. Okay, and it's like, okay, well, first of all, you're not saying that, so you're it's a scripted narrative to get the person to be like, oh, so if the rich are the evil ones and the poor are the evil ones, then the rest of us are the good ones, generally speaking. Well, I watch Asmongold. He's rich. Is he one of the evil ones? Oh, no, he's one of the good ones. Oh, my God. And then it's like, okay, so let's say we get to the point where it's like, okay, you guys, you're right. Most of the rich are the evil ones. The Jews own all the banks and la-di-da, and the Trump is the evil Trump, and the Fauci and the Bill Gates, and it is the evil elite people. So they're mostly just evil Zionists, okay. And then those EBT recipients, man, the most of them are just abusive. They're just scam or lying scam. So then everyone else is more likely to kind of be the good guy and stuff. Okay, so all right, guys. Yeah, okay, that's the point. Even though you won't just directly say that, you want to talk in circles so that I have to just spit it out already, okay? So now that we've gotten to this point where, okay, now we know who the enemy is, right? Because know thy enemy, know thy enemy, bro. So now we know thy enemy, bro, because this is a war, man. Yeah, and I'm not an NPC fucking retard, right? Okay, where are the facts? Can you back this up with facts that generally the middle and working class are the good guys and generally like the super elite and the poor people are the bad guys? Where are the facts? No facts. So then you just ignore it. It doesn't matter that there are no facts. And so you're never going to present any facts, but yet you're going to continue on with this narrative. This narrative is just... I'm getting harassed. I'm getting gang stalked by my car. So you're never going to present any facts, but you're going to continue on with this narrative, absent of any and all facts. And wow, I mean, what kind of damage that really gives the working and middle class a free pass to pretty much do whatever they want. Because everybody's going to be looking at the poor and the rich as the evil people, and the middle and working class are the good ones. And so nobody's going to ever even suspect that the middle class and the working class might be abusing the system. No, because it's the rich and the poor people that abuse the system, right? I mean, like, this is all designed to create this exact confusion. Okay. Then we'll get into, I was watching this bigger channel talking about evil versus good. And it's like, well, yeah, there is evil and there's good. Okay. First of all, I don't know that there's good. If you look at the Bible says no one is good. Even Jesus himself says, why do you call me good? There's only one that is good, and that is God. So you could even argue there really isn't even any good in the world. There are no good people in the world. Is there evil? Oh, it's obvious that there's evil, right? But anyways, so, okay, there's evil, but how do you know? How do you know who's evil and who isn't? Oh, so the poor and the rich are evil, and the middle and working class are not, generally speaking, right? This is the constant message, whether you know it or not. This is like the constant message that is being pumped into your brain 24/7. And this message that is constantly being pumped into your brain 24/7 is that the rich and the poor are evil, generally, and the working and middle class are the good, generally. There are exceptions to the rule, but overall, in general, the rich and the poor are evil, and the working and middle class are the good. Okay, let's say that this is true, which it's not. Like, it's totally obvious that it's not, but it's retarded to believe this. But let's say it's true. Who is winning? Are the working and middle class winning, or is the evil winning? If the working and middle class are the good people, as we are brainwashed 24/7 that this is the case, that the working and middle class are the good guys, and the poor and the rich are the bad guys. This is the messaging we are pumped 24/7. If that's true, who's winning? In a general way, are the working and middle class winning, or are they losing? And if and how so? Like, for example, if you want to boldly claim that, well, the working class and the middle class are winning this war, okay, how so though? Your tax dollars, all your tax dollars are being stolen by Israel and Ukraine, and you complain about it all the time. How so? How are you winning? Oh, because they shut off EBT. Is that how the working and middle class? No, the working and middle class arguably are losing. Okay, so what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna keep complaining about it and not do anything? What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. The working and middle class are not gonna do anything about it. Do you know why? Because the rich are the ones that pay the working and middle class their working and middle class wages. Dude, like, I can sit here and make sense all fucking day long, and it doesn't matter, because all media is saturated with a bunch of noise. It's just all a bunch of fucking diuretic, NPC, clinically retarded noise. And the noise is that the rich are evil, the poor are evil, and the working and middle class are victims of all this. Is that the truth? No. Does anybody care that that's not the truth? Absolutely not. Why not? Well, because the working and middle class are continuing to get this reinforced validation that the working and middle class are the innocent victims of the evil rich, and the working and middle class are the innocent victims of the evil poor people and the evil rich people like Fauci and Trump and right and the Zionist Jews that run the world banking system. So the working and middle class are just innocent victims. Okay, again, let's say that's true. Well, what are the working and middle class going to do about it? Are they going to do anything about it? No. Why not? Because the rich pay the working and middle class their wages, their working and middle class wages. If the rich stop paying the working class and the middle class their working and middle class wages, they would no longer be working and middle class. They would be poor, and then they would be the bad guys. Well, they don't want to be the bad guys. Don't you see how, like, this is like a pyramid scheme. It's a massive pyramid scheme. And the thing is I can totally like slam dunk this shit. Where it's like, see? Everything I'm saying is sound. Is that going to matter at all? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And where do I fit in this good guy versus bad guy? Well, I don't know. All I know is that I'm just some poor motherfucker that lives in a fucking 8-foot by 10-foot trailer out in the middle of nowhere in the desert with a slave labor job where I work overtime hours, but I don't get paid overtime for my overtime hours. I work time and a half hours, but I don't get paid time and a half hours. I do pay taxes, right? But then I'm getting lectured that I'm the person that abuses the system. My boss doesn't ever get lectured by the internet and media how people like my boss are abusing the system. Never, because he's like upper middle class, and the middle class and the so-called. I mean, again, this gets into, is there really a middle class or not? But whatever you people refer to as middle class, you're all the protected class. You're all the darling lapdogs of the fucking Faucis and Gates and Trumps and Bidens and Kamalas. Like, you're all the lapdogs. Again, like, look it up yourself. The one interview that Kamala Harris had, there was only one interview that she had. Maybe two. During her presidential, like trying to run for president. The one interview, they said, Kamala, if you do become president, what's the first thing that you're going to do? What did she say? We're going to start doing all this stuff for the middle class. We need to start doing stuff for the middle class. Middle class. See, why? Because the middle class are the victims. They're the real victims of all this. And we really, okay. Yeah. I mean, this is like, this insanity is never going to go away. It's just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And the people are the ones that feed it. The people. Again, like this whole thing to shut down EBT, all it is a litmus test to observe and analyze how the masses at large react and respond to it. And it's totally predictable how the masses respond to it. They're all like, yeah, fucking, we need to fucking shut the fucking food stamps off. Those motherfuckers. Exactly. And that very accurately measures the pulse of your society. Like, your America. This is how America thinks, because America's asleep. Because the American dream, you have to be asleep to believe it. And so all these sleepers are like, yeah, okay, yeah, we're finally, something good is happening. Finally. Yes, this is a total victory that they shut the food stamps off. And like I said in my previous video, it's like totally cool. You want to believe that way? Dude, I'm not here to try to convince you any other way. But my joke, as a joker, just let me just make a little joke about the whole thing, is that your tax dollars are continuing to get stolen by Israel and Ukraine. And when are you going to stop crying about that? When? When do I get to finally, like, not have to listen to all these people crybabying about their tax dollars getting stolen by Israel and Ukraine? When? Never. It'll never end. They'll never shut the fuck up, dude. They're always going to complain about their taxes no matter what. More is never enough. There is never enough. The richer a person is, the more they're complaining about scarcity. It's like, man, you know, I'm used to a $30 breakfast every morning. Man, why do I got to eat this $20 breakfast, man? This is bullshit. I'm a victim. This will never end, bro. I mean, the United States of America arguably deserves to financially collapse into total ruin. And the funniest thing about that is the people most likely to survive are people who have experienced long-term homelessness, because they know they're having their own individual economic collapse. They're experiencing it while everyone around them is driving fucking, you know, $20,000-$30,000 cars and eating at fucking Starbucks, eating their fucking egg and bacon croissant at Starbucks. And and in the midst of this, you see these people having their own personal financial collapses, you know. Like, does this entire country deserve it? Arguably so. Now, am I saying that it does? No, but there's a debate there. I could totally find reasons as to why this country, deserves an economic collapse. Like these fucking piece of shit internet influencers that bring in millions of dollars a year, just being total fucking retarded fucking cunts. Yes, they deserve to go eat fucking shit out of a dumpster, bro. They totally do. And it might actually do them some good, where they might actually learn something of value, a valuable lesson as a result. Whereas them just continuing to sit around being a piece of fucking shit and bringing in millions of dollars, being a retard, all that's doing is causing them more harm. Like, you know, they're just suffering mass delusion. Like, they're so disconnected from what reality truly is that they are the fucking retards, dude. They're fully retarded in every sense of the word, and they don't even know. Anyways, I'm fucking all over the place. Later, dudes.